Hey, what is up guys? Sean here. In this video, you'll learn how to make a custom streak system to track jumps, kills, or any other stat you can think of. Works against sentries, guards, and real players. You'll learn how to give items, powers, and much more. This was the same streak system used in today's sponsor, Red vs. Blue Neverland. Take it away, Tommy.
Hey there, true believers and Fortnite fans. Are you ready for the ultimate victory royale? That's right. You have the chance to win 20,000 V-Bucks to spend on the coolest skins, emotes, and more. Entering is super easy. Here's how to join the fun. Search for the map code 5905-8339-7606. Use any of these machines until you see this icon. Take the teleporter to Lost Island. Collect the coins to increase your score, then submit your highest score to bit.ly/RVBLT. Your score's saved, so you can always come back. Don't miss your chance to win big. Go to bit.ly/RVBLT to win.
Okay, inside UEFN, go to Verse Explorer if you don't have it open, and then right-click on your project and add new verse file to project. Make sure it's verse device and you can call it streak_manager and click on create. Then double click, which should open up verse. The next thing we want to do is make a new file. You can just right click anywhere inside VS Code, do new file, and call it custom player.verse. Okay, inside custom player, let's make this full screen. You can hide this by pressing Control B, and then we'll go ahead and get started. This is where we're going to define the custom player class. So let me zoom in real quick. Okay, so we have, press enter, custom player, which is a class, and we can say it's unique. And inside that class, we're going to want a few items. We want the agent and the fort character. And now you'll see it's red because we're missing a few imports. We're missing verse.org/simulation. And for fort character, we're missing fortnite.com/characters. So you can copy these, copy, and then paste. And then the other one was using verse.org/simulation. Okay, we should have the class ready to go. Next thing we want to add is the stat we want to track. So we're tracking a streak. So create a variable, call it streak, type integer, and initialize it to 0. If you wanted to track jumps, you could do the same thing. Create a variable, jump counter, initialize it to 0. You can do the same thing for distance 0. Any stat you want to track, you could just put that in here and increment it, and we can get it later on. I usually like to create an init function where I know that, and I just print hello, where I know that the player has been initialized. So we want functions to increment the streak whatever stat we're tracking. We want to increment the stat we're tracking, and also reset the stat as well. So you would make a function called increment streak, which is type returns void, and all this does is set the streak to plus equals 1. Now technically, if you wanted to it's good practice to make a get function for the streak as well, which would return an int, and then you just say streak here, which returns the int if the streak was private. But because it's public, I'm able to do custom, say, cplayer dot streak, which will give me the streak. So if you want to follow good practices, you can do it this way, but I'm going to make it public. So delete that and delete this function. And the next function we want is reset streak. This will set the streak equal to 0. So either when a player dies or when they get to the last tier, we can set the streak back to 0. And for the custom player, I believe this is all that you need. So inside the first device streak manager, let's get rid of this. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we have all our devices that we're going to use. So we have, say, the kill streaks for the custom streak. So we want to grant an item, give a speed boost, spawn a supply drop. Are a speed up, which is a movement modulator device. Set that equal to a movement modulator device. We also need another one for speed down to reset the speed of the player. Set that to a movement modulator device as well. We need an item granter, so let's say fish granter, because we're giving a vendetta flopper. To call this item granter device equals item granter device. And then we want a supply drop, which is a, I believe, supply drop spawner device equals supply drop spawner device. We also want general game devices, so we want what's the game devices, general devices. We want a HUD message device, so we'll call it a streak HUD, which is a HUD message device equals HUD message device. You would use different HUDs for the kill streaks, but in this example I'm only using one HUD. So if you wanted to use multiple HUDs, call this a HUDs, and then make this an array and make this an array. So now you can have, if you have 10 streaks, you can have 10 HUD devices for the streaks that you want to use. But since it's a simple example, I'm just going to use one streak HUD message device and change the message for each streak. So delete that. We want a editable player spawner, player spawner device equals player spawner device. Yep, so we want a player spawner device. Since we're using sentries and guards, we want to add sentry device maybe equals sentry device, and then editable guard is a guard spawner device equals guard spawner device. Next, we want to make a players map. Player map is good to keep track of all the players in your map, and we can set it to a type custom player. That way we can access functions that we've defined in the custom player class. Var players map is equal to type player. It has reference to a player, and it's a custom player equals map. And yeah, that should be all the devices and setup that you need here. You want to subscribe to the player spawner device. So player spawner spawned event subscribe player spawned, and this is not defined. That's when there's an error. And we want to define it here, player spawned, which takes a type agent. And then we'll fill out the details afterwards, but let's continue with the other devices. So here we also want to subscribe to the sentry, I believe it's eliminated event. Yep. Subscribe sentry eliminated. And I want to do the same for guard and change this to guard eliminated. And so we make those two functions. Let's see. So we want to change this to sentry eliminated, maybe agent. We want to say guard eliminated event. And you'll see there's still an error, and that's because it takes AI. All right, let's say agent, and then if we hover over it, it says device AI interaction result. So that's what you want to put here, which is device AI interaction result. Okay. If agent is equal to maybe agent, and then we want the custom player, so we do player is equal to players map agent. If all those are true, then we should have access to the custom player. So when a sentry is eliminated, you would say player, because it's the custom player, dot increment streak. We also want to do something that'll check for the kill streak later on, and so we can make a new function called check kill streak, and then we can define check kill streak. Let's say it's void and just put a block so we don't get any errors. Okay, and next for the guard, if we want to check if the guard is eliminated, we would say, if source, which is AI.source, if that's the case, it'll return an agent, And then same thing like before in the player map, you want to get the player and do players map source. It should give us the player, and again we can do player dot increment streak and check. I just call it check streak. Call this check streak and check streak. Okay. Now on the player spawn function, we want to initialize the player in the custom player class. So first we need to get the player object. So if player object, and that is player agent, we cast the agent into the player object. Then check if the player is in the player map. So if real player is players map player object, the player is there, then we don't want to do anything else. If the player is not there, we want to add them to the map and make a new player object. So we want to say new player is equal to custom player, and inside custom player we want the agent, we want the player, which is player object, and we want C, which is agent dot get for character. Okay, and we're missing fortnite.com/characters. So if we add that to the top, and then we go back. Okay, and which is why we had this in the if statement. So we'll say if alright, so if that, we want to set the player object and place it in the map. We want to initialize the new player, and then we want to subscribe to the player elimination event. So let's say new player dot eliminated event dot subscribe. Or you can say player eliminated. And then so this, let's see. Okay, it's not in custom player, but in the fort character. So new player dot fort character dot subscribe eliminated event player eliminated, and we make the player eliminated function, which takes C, I believe, elimination result. So let's call it elimination result. Elimination result. And so now we're missing fortnite.com/game. So go to the top, do fortnite.com/game. And now we have our elimination result. So if we go to the definition, the elimination result has the eliminated character and the eliminating character. But first, we subscribe to the elimination event, and then we want to, when a new player is initialized, we want to show the HUD device to that player. So we say, what was the function? Check streak. And we'll say check streaks takes an agent. And we pass in the agent. And here, so we can say player.at, or we can use the source because it's an agent. And we also say player.at, which is also the agent. And then here as well, inside a check streak, and pass in the player agent, or pass in the agent, just player.at, and it's new player dot agent object. All right, and so now we want to write the player eliminated function. And the player eliminated function is where we can increment the kill streaks and reset the kill streaks if they have died. So we'll go here and say, so the elimination result, we want to get the eliminated for character, which would be eliminated for character is equal to the eliminated character, I believe. If if eliminating C is equal to eliminating character, and we do a check for optional. So if we get the fork character, then we want to get the agent object. And to do that, we can say eliminating agent is equal to eliminating fc dot get agent, which gives you the agent from the fort character. And so if you get the agent, then you want to check the player's map. So if eliminating player's map, eliminating agent, then for the eliminating player, you want to increment the streak. We do the same thing. We want to get the eliminated agent. So we would say eliminated agent equal to the eliminated fc dot get agent. We would pass that to the player's map to get the eliminated player. And then player's map equals eliminated agent. And then let's okay, I should spell it correctly. Eliminated FC, which I spelled wrongly over here. Eliminated FC. And then eliminated player dot reset streak. So when a player dies, their streak will be reset. And you can also call check streak here and pass in eliminated player dot at. That way the HUD device will update for the player. And that should be it for the eliminated function. Now we want to fill in the check streak function based off of this example. If players map agent. So if there's a player, then we want to check the player's kill streak. So for kill streaks, we'll do 3, 5, and 7. So if the player dot streak is equal to 3, then we want to grant an item. So we want to use the fish granter grant item agent. And then delete this. If the player streak equals 5, we want to activate the speed boost. So activate speed boost where we pass in the agent. And the speed boost is going to be async, so we can deactivate it, let's say after 30 seconds. So put a spawn around your code. And then the next kill streak we want to activate is, let's say 7, and we want to spawn a supply drop. Make a function spawn drop, which is, we'll take in the agent as well. And then we want to reset the player streak because they've reached the maximum rewards available. So call player.reset streak. Next, we want to define these functions. Activate speed boost. This takes an agent and suspends. Okay, and then spawn drop, which takes agent block. Okay, so here for the speed boost, we want to activate the movement modulator for the agent. We set that to speed up dot activate and pass in the agent. Afterwards, we want to sleep for however long you want your kill streak to last. So let's say 30 seconds. And then we want to speed down dot activate agent. And this will bring them back to regular speed. You can do the same thing for a damage boost if you had a damage up amplifier device or power up amplifier device. You can do the same thing. It'll give them 1.5x damage multiplier or 2x damage multiplier, and then after your desired time you can deactivate it with a damage down effect, which will return their damage to normal. And then so for the spawning of the supply drop, what we want to do is you want the initial transform So you can teleport it to the player and then teleport it back to the initial location. So let's say initial transform equals supply drop dot get transform. So now you have the transform. Then you want to teleport it to the player. If I get the fort character agent dot get get fort character. We'll make a massive if function here, but that's all right. Say if get the transform for the fort character fc dot get transform, and then supply drop dot teleport to, if I put in transform, and it should teleport it to the agent. Then we want to spawn the supply drop dot spawn for the agent. I'll destroy the balloon supply drop dot destroy balloon. Supply drop dot teleport to, and we can say initial transform, and that would be how to spawn a supply drop for the agent. We want a localization functions to turn strings to messages. So create one by calling the function name localizes a message of string, and then it turns a message equal to a message. After that, we want a function to update the streak HUD. So update streak HUD void, and this will take in we'll just pass in the agent, and we'll just get the, now you can optimize this, but we'll pass in the agent and we'll get the players map agent. And here, because I'm using one HUD message device, I'm going to change the entire text for the HUD message device. So for example, we would say if player dot streak is less than 3, that's the first kill streak. If it's less than 3, then we want to streak HUD dot show for the agent. Then we want to pass in the message, which is, I think I'm using a vendetta flopper, so vendetta flopper, and then show the player dot streak and the end goal. So this is for the first kill streak. The next kill streak, we want to do something similar. So copy and paste. And so if the player streak is, say, greater than or equal to the 3, and player, or not, yeah, we can do a player streak, player dot streak is less than let's say 5. We'll change that here, 5. And I believe this is for the speed boost. So let's just say speed boost. And give them that. Data fish. Give them that. And so you want to make sure it's greater than 3 but less than the actual goal, so that when it gets to the goal it goes to the next one. So speed boost, and then for the 7 kills we paste it again and say if streak is less than or equal to 5 or greater than or equal to 5 and less than that's correct, and less than 7. And here we say supply drop and change this to 7. And that should be it for updating the kill streak HUD. So now we want to call this in places where the player's kills would be updated, so it's actually tracking the kills, the progression. So not in check kill streak. So we want to call it here update streak HUD player.h, and we've called it in all the places where the player might get a kill. And you can get all this code for free in the description below, or go to link bit.ly/shaanprime. Okay, build verse code. And now we can put in the streak manager and get the devices. Say movement modulator. We want 2 of those. So let's say you want it to be 2 speed. Make sure the duration is infinite. No on applying impulse. And that's it. See, speed up. And then make a second one. Call it speed down. And you just want to change it back to 1. Then we need an item granter. Inside the item granter, we want to keep all and put a vendetta flopper. We'll do equip grant 1 item. Inventory full. You want to drop at player location and ownership. Receiving player. And then we want a supply drop. Spawn delay. We want to make sure that's set to off guard. And next the sentry. And then we need, so let's connect these up. Yeah, the speed up, speed down, a fish granter, supply drop, player spawn pad 1, player spawn pad 2. We want the sentry and we want the guard. We'll go ahead and save those. And we want a HUD message device, settings. We want to make sure it's set to check off show for duration. Do a custom, make it in your top left. We'll just say no for animations so it doesn't keep going in and out. And message recipient triggering player, and make a new widget blueprint WB. And then we select that and place it in the HUD widget, and then go back to the game manager and select the streak HUD. Okay. And now we'll make the streak HUD. I think this looks good for demo purposes. Next, we want to add a view binding. Click on this add view model, select message view model, and select. You can close this. Click on the text, add that. Click on the UEFN text block, select text. Click on select. And then here, select the HUD message and select text. Click on save and compile and save. Okay, and you can close that. So now you can see the speed up, speed down, fish granter, supply drop, HUD message device, and player spawners. And we'll launch the session and test it out. Alright, so in game, you should be able to get a kill from the guard, a kill from the sentry, kill the guard again. See, I've gotten the fish, and then this is a real player. That's not dying. Gotta figure out what that is. Okay. They were just loading in, I guess. Alright, see? Supply drop. Kill the guard. Kill the guard again. Got the supply drop. And the streak resets back to 0. That should kill all 3 of them. Speed boost. Supply drop. And back to 0. And that, my friends, is how you build a custom streak system inside UEFN. Use it to grant powers, items, and whatever else you want. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button.
A special thank you to all the patrons. We appreciate your love and support.